watchers and listeners, it's me, your boy, RayApollo, this time in the driver's seat, because guess what? We're keeping our promise, and we're here to talk about Boruto, the next generation, the manga. And of course, with me, as always, are my boys, Miguel and Sam. What's up, my guys?
Pretty excited to finally bring Boruto to the channel, which I brought the anime, but we're bringing the manga, so I'm very excited. We have so many thoughts I finally cut up, and I'm really happy to finally talk about this with you guys.
Finally, indeed, yes.
Yeah, definitely excited for this because the manga is fantastic. The anime, from the beginning, but I'm hearing good things about this arc right now.
Boyhood Heart is very good.
I said convincing. I said I'm hearing good things about this arc so far, but the manga has always been good, so we're relying on that. That's my.
I mean, yes, it's always been good, but you know we're starting with chapter 40, and that one's been. This one's okay.
Yeah, so, that's one thing I would say. It's sad. Not sad. The past chapters 35 to 39 has been hitters.
They really have been. They've been swinging left and right.
And then chapter 40, it's not 5 out of 10. It's not 4 out of 10. It's like I would say a sweet 7.5.
I was thinking a 7, straight up. Yeah,
I'd say 7 out of 10 sounds about right, because the momentum from the previous 6 chapters, it was like wow, like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, like really good scores throughout the entire chapters and good pacing going on. But this one, this chapter, it's on its right momentum of pace, but of course, it's gonna have to slow down. It can't always be hype. But we're talking about a series that's like once a month. Usually,
I was about to say, but as a monthly chapter,
yeah,
I expect more from a monthly book. I'm gonna be real honest with you. And I mean, and this one, like we said, it's been hitting left and right up until just this chapter. And I was like, oh, this is chapter 40. This one will hit. And I'm like, actually, this one kind of missed the mark that everything else had been hitting. So I mean, let's just jump right into like the first few panels. You know, the kids just left using Kawaki's space-time jutsu, and they've gone to where Naruto is. And then Shikamaru's like, well, heck, how the heck are we gonna find these kids? And you know, their only hope is Sasuke, who as we saw last time, got whooped.
And he's unconscious right now, and his wife is trying to heal him.
And have nobody knows what's really going on. Like, there's no communication, and that's what it really is kind of affecting everybody, because right now the Hokage is gone, and who's the next person that takes in charge is his advisor. The next in charge, his vice president, and that's Shikamaru. And the best decision that he chose, all right, let's have a barrier here and let's keep them close. But he didn't know. Oh shit, Kawaki and Boruto can do a time jutsu. Okay, did not know this.
They can use time and space jutsu now. Well, who would have thunk it, right?
Nothing. I'm just a guy who can do a shadow paralysis jutsu. That's all I can do. So
which they can suck up with their karma, and so it doesn't even matter. It's like, oh, great. So yeah, we're like, there's no communication going on, so they're really at a huge disadvantage because they have no knowledge about the enemy. The enemy knows everything about them because every time they show up, they say their full names, who their mama and their daddy was, who their third cousin was. They know everything about them. I'm like, y'all at a huge disadvantage. It's like, yes, Boruto Uzumaki, son of Naruto Uzumaki, third cousin of Benihana. I don't know. It's like come on now. Every single time one of these people shows up, they say everything about them. I'm like, that's their whole personal history. How'd you know all this?
But one thing I gotta admit about each design of the karma, about the inners, they're all very different. And they're all unique about them. Like, each of them have their own, rough edges. And then this fat dude he's more aggressive. He's more aggressive and arrogant and cockiness. So I like how each character has their own type of personality. So that really gives them a bit more life to it. Even though who knows if they might be killed by the next arc. So we don't know. So I really like that.
I mean, we get to the place where they've used the time and space jutsu to get to where Naruto's been sealed. And they meet, I think his name's Boro, right? Isn't that his name?
Boro. Yeah.
I'm like, really? Boruto? Come on now. Really? But so he knows Kawaki, and he's like, yeah, as stubborn and as arrogant as ever. And I think Kawaki, last chapter, he was like, oh, by the way, I wish he hadn't been here because I think he knew how difficult this fight was going to be based on what he knows about this guy. And now we have a good idea as to why.
But it gets makes me mad that he said in the last chapter, last panel, when I was rereading before the video, to prep for the notes and everything, he said, "Oh, this guy's worse than Jig." And I'm like, then why is Jig like? I hate it when we meet each villain army in some type of anime manga, and then somehow the people in the group is stronger than the main villain. Like, why is that the case? So why is Jigen the main guy then? Like, what is this all leading up to? And we barely know what's the end goal of these people. We just know that they need Kawaki. That's all we need. That's all we know.
I mean, and I guess it comes back to you want to keep people around you who are stronger and smarter than you. So I mean, I guess it's nice to have that one ace in the hole. It's like, if you think I'm strong, wait until you see old such and such in the corner. He's way stronger than me. You know.
I mean, let's not like bring down their like momentum, their pacing, because they're still kids, and they're literally doing what kids you would always do. Literally, don't think first and go head first in charge into this fight. And even though Kawaki and Boruto are both together, technically teaming up together to try to fight, they aren't really a match. But instead of just having the two main frontline who both have karma abilities, they should all just work together, which they should have been in the beginning. Because this reminds me of the whole bell test. Like, instead of like everybody on their own separate ways and try to fight or try to dodge in this entire ability, they should just all work together and figure out a better way to fight. And this is not the first mission they've done before, especially with Boruto, Sarada, and Mizuki. Like, even though they had Konohamaru Sensei like on behind them and help guide them in, like, they should know that teamwork and stop and think and some teamwork is good.
I mean, but think about that. This is like crisis mode. They're like, okay, Naruto's gone. We got to go find Naruto. And plus, Kawaki is also kind of taking the lead, which is weird. And so that's why it's thrown off the whole teamwork aspect of it, because now he's in the lead and he's not used to working with a team.
That's what I was gonna bring. Like, the whole dynamic got switched up when Kawaki takes the lead, when Boruto used to do the lead, and both of them will follow him. And now Kawaki taking the lead is gonna switch the whole dynamic. Of who does her first move, who does the support system, was all pretty different. And Mitsuki said, well, the teamwork of the revamped cell number 7, they themselves knew, okay, we just got F up. Now we have to revamp our whole strategy and do something better of what we just have done now, because now we have to fix our team 7 of how we have an extra person, because remember, a cell is 3. They have a cell of 4 now. So all their attacks combos need to be better and change up. That's one.
Yeah. So I mean, we get here and we're with Boro, and he's like, basically he taunts them. He's like, hey, Kawaki's here. Of course you're here. By the way, yes, I have the Hokage in this bowl, which we both talked about are like 2 rice bowls clapped together.
It is like literally like this.
It does remind me of like back then in Dragon Ball, where Piccolo's father got sealed inside a rice cooker. And
oh my god!
This is more like that's old school. I'm thinking like, hey, I remember this. I read Dragon Ball, and I actually love the series. And like, this is the same exact thing they did to Naruto. They shrunk him, put his spirit and soul inside a weird, ridiculous item in there, and literally
some rice bowls. That's messed up. I feel bad for him, boy.
One thing that really shocked me is that at first, when we first saw the fight in chapter 38, when we first saw the fight happen, and when Naruto got sealed, the bowl looks so much bigger. Like,
he actually shrunk it down.
I still love it how it was like a whole 2-city block. And then after that, in chapter 40, we see this bowl, like a regular size, to just be thrown over there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because I think after Jigen left and he sealed the bowl, he definitely shrunk it down. I guess that makes sense, and it's actually that's nice attention to detail, because they use it in this chapter wisely, because he basically takes the bowl. He's like, oh, you want the Hokage so bad? He takes the bowl and throws it at the kids. And they're like, "Oh my God, is he okay?"
Like,
and
no.
Yeah, they basically this was first step of him like messing with them just to see what they're gonna do.
Of course.
And as soon as they take their eyes off him, he's gone. And like, it's like, well, you should have saw that coming. You're in a situation where he wants to either capture or kill you. And I'm like, y'all already mess it up. And
he's already playing really good mind games, telling them like, I can't promise you what will happen to this bowl. It might something might happen to Naruto, so you might want to protect this. I'm throwing acid in the floor. He might get burned. This bowl might get destroyed, forcing them to use their karma, absorbing the acid. And then you actually see him hiding his hand movements, his seals, which they still have no idea what it is, but it's enough to paralyze both Boruto and Kawaki, while also like he's able to still attack you with some other thing as well.
And it was almost instantly, by the way. It wasn't just like it happened. It's like it almost like they were there for just a split second too long, and they're like all of a sudden they can't move, which is not good, by the way.
It does have to be within contact because both Boruto used that Rasengan and touched him.
By the way, can we talk about how he tanked a Rasengan?
Oh,
he tanked a full Rasengan.
Just like let me just take this, see how powerful.
Fails most people. Like when Momoshiki got hit with one for the first time, he was like, "What the heck was that?" I was like, "Oh, okay, let's not do that no more."
Because it shows how because what I was gonna say is that it shows how each person could withstand a Rasengan, but each person can't within the karma. Each person within the karma, it shows their strength and it shows their ability. It shows that this guy Boro could handle it, Jigen could handle it, others can't. So it shows that some others could in the clan. So it shows how each one is powerful, like you said before, that we also have this one guy strong in the corner over there. He's the strongest within the clan. So it shows that each one has their own strength and abilities.
Yeah. But then that's his Wolverine healing factor. Yeah, that.
And this is not Boruto's like hidden dimension Rasengan. This is technically him going front forward into it instead of like throwing it, making it go through space-time dimension and then coming back again and hitting, because that's what we kind of figure out with Boruto and how come the Rasengan disappeared and somehow hits later. I feel like he also has powers of time-space control, and that, like from the Rasengan going from one end to another to be able to hit the projectiles of your enemy is how I'm seeing this. Even though it's small and not fully projected, I feel like when your opponent is like he lets down his guard, like, oh, it just disappeared, nothing really happened, comes out from another dimension, boom, hits him directly. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I hadn't thought about that with the vanishing Rasengan. I didn't think about that.
I would say that's a good theory. But speaking about theories, even though this happened 2 chapters ago, but this is our first video about Boruto itself. Sad that we didn't really see more of the discussion with Sakura and Sakura. When Sakura said that the Lord Fifth said that her mark came from the time of the Sage of Six Path. So I wanted more info about that, but sadly, the whole invasion happened where she's like, oh, okay, conversation got cut off, I'm gonna go. I'm like, but I want
they did that on purpose because that's actually interesting.
I'm like, wait, we never got that before in the Naruto series, and now we're hearing this for the first time that this mark that Sakura has and the and Tsunade, Lady Fifth, had it from the Sage of Six Path from that old. So I want to know more about that. So
it's that kind of jutsu.
So that's how these marks are connected. So I was like, damn, I want to know more about that. Smart though, because not just where some theories could come true, where all these marks could be connected.
And we have Boro telling, oh, Boruto Uzumaki, the person who has the karma, at least looks like that's telling the truth, the reincarnation of Momosuke. And we're like wondering, like, wait, he's not dead? He's being reincarnated inside Boruto?
Yeah, so he basically says, hey, Boruto, Momoshiki's vessel. And I'm like, wait, what? So like that's the first time he's been called that.
That's what I kind of assume as well, because if Jigen said that my man Kawaki is being the vessel of himself, and Momoshiki, when he got killed by Boruto, and once he got the karma, I kind of figured that was the case, that he would be his vessel, but then he kind of died. So I'm like, is that the case for him, or was he just unique and got it of his own? So I'm just waiting for that fully confirmation. But what you just said, Sam, kind of gave a possibility to be possible.
Because like when Boro just said, like, I'm glad you came, you save us a lot of time, and technically our plan can finally be reviewed. All I need to do is just capture both of you and just kill the rest, and kill Sadara and kill Mizuki, and then move on. And then we had Mizuki trying to fight one-on-one with Boro, even with the Orochimaru's like snake abilities and his powers and stuff. Apparently the smoke mist is like a weakness for Mizuki, but you know, he doesn't care. Mizuki, as long his main life purpose is to protect Boruto, and he will do that, because right now both Boruto and Kawaki are not able to fight because of the poison or hidden jutsu that happened to them. But he has some skills. I give him props for that. even trying to infect poison into Boro, which I don't think poison would work on him if he's able to actually literally throw poison.
It did not work. He basically goes, "Oh, that was cute." Boom, boom, and then it's gone. And I'm like,
and he has brute strength. Literally, even he was those constricted. He literally tossed Mizuki everywhere.
That scene, if that ever gets animated, is gonna look sick because he got bopped.
I don't know. Speaking about the anime, I think there's something that we should discuss. So we saw the we cannot remember the guy who looks like Jiraiya that a lot of people thought is Jiraiya. So right now they're in the boyhood arc in the anime where they're gonna mess up.
You gonna use my theory? Yeah, okay, keep going.
We're gonna talk about your theory. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about your theory. So now we can technically go for discussion at night instead of the podcast. Where maybe Jiraiya got, because even this guy said, okay, Jigen is weakened. Maybe I could take him down. And Jiraiya is the type of person to infiltrate places, even for a long time, to take down an enemy. He's that type of personality, and he has done that before when he went to the village of the hidden sound before in the Ninja War 3. Back then, that's how he raised Nagato and the other two. He has done that before, so maybe he could do this as well. Now, I'm not saying that this could be Jiraiya, as this really, I'm confirming this Jiraiya. This is just an idea of what Ray brought up a couple of episodes ago in the podcast, but I want to have a full discussion about that. Do you still agree with seeing how he's about to kill Jigen if possible on his way? With him saying that, would you guys agree?
I don't. So I have a lot of theories now because I've read some other stuff since then, and so there is a chance that this is a form of Jiraiya, possibly.
Maybe a clone, because they seem to really enjoy experimenting, creating new clones and experimental, and having Jiraiya as one of the clones is not too far-fetched.
So what I thought was that he might have one of Jiraiya's body parts, like an arm or something, and then with that came the jutsu and the memories potentially.
And maybe added like a brain control kind of karma in his.
I wouldn't say like a control. It's just like there was some person who who was dying and they found Jiraiya's, but like they went and got Jiraiya's body to like use in experiments anyway, and then they basically sewed one of his arms or something or his legs or something onto this guy, and he got his memories and his jutsu, and that's why he can go through the barrier. I don't know, because his chakra registers. There's a lot of different things. This could also be a completely different person that we haven't seen in a long time.
Because we know that Kawaki is a clone, and he's just made as a vessel for Jigen.
No. He's not a clone. He just got refixed with the blood cells to become a vessel. He's still himself. He just, his whole body is a ninjutsu tool. A ninjutsu tool.
A ninja tool? You think it's a ninja tool?
Yeah. So he's not a clone, but
that's true.
But he is a person though. But he's not human no more, technically.
He's been modified. Well, everybody in the karma has been modified. If you look at it, this guy, when his hood came off, he's got like weird vents in the side of his head, like a computer. So I was like, what? That's weird. So they're all special in their own weird way.
The one person I really want to know more about is the Doctor of Jigen. He's interesting.
He is an interesting character.
Like, what is he in there for? Because he we have like so little information about these characters, and it makes me sad that we get this series monthly. Like, I wish Dragon Ball Super and Boruto was like bi-weekly at least, because monthly I feel like, damn, you guys are taking too long. I want more information of these inner circle, of these doctors.
The thing about Boruto though, I think it could go bi-weekly at some point if the popularity picks up. Absolutely
understandable. That's possible.
I think that could happen.
For sure. If it goes bi-weekly, then I honestly, if there's like the story pacing goes a little too fast or gets a little too slow, we can't really blame on the less time to work on it for the story. But definitely for sure, it's not. This could be a good setup chapter for the next following chapter. Because we've seen it before where like, I don't know, this chapter wasn't all that great, but once the next chapter came out, the previous chapter helped build up even more momentum than it really does for the following chapter. So that's probably what they're doing. They're probably setting up for the next chapter of their retaliation, their counterattacks against Boro. Maybe they can have a better plan in discussion. It
They
is
have to.
sure.
They have to, because if not, they're getting killed. So they have to find
Mhm.
a way to do some type of jutsu, some type of movement.
I mean, because that basically just happened. They retreated because they were like, if we didn't get out of there, we were gonna die.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. And it's also interesting to see Sadara's Magu Sharingan.
Yeah, her
That-
Sharingan. She's got the third wheel.
Yeah,
the third piece of the wheel.
so soon, and that's also an interesting, also powerful move that she has, because she has both that and almost Sakura's strength, because she did chuck the entire boulder.
I think she's got chakra control like Sakura. Absolutely.
Yeah, she was able to chuck that giant rock at them, Boro, just so that they can escape. And I do give this props. They do have a good team. They have a tank. They have two.
Oh, they have a beautiful team dynamic. They're absolutely one of the strongest getting teams. Period.
Yeah,
So
they're the parents of the trio of the second generation of the legendary Sani. These are the next ones. So definitely they're gonna surpass their parents no matter what, one way or another. Just one thing I'm always gonna be curious about in the end of the series, when who's gonna have the next Ninetales? Who's gonna carry that? So that's what I'm waiting for to find out.
We'll see how that goes. I feel like they're kind of moving away from Biju entirely. I feel like this is I hope that this is the last arc and focus on Biju power. I'm like, please let this just be them trying to get it out of their system and it's done, and we go into something completely different.
Unless it's chapter 38, where Jigen is technically absorbing the 10 tails of powers just to make them to power up, which can make more sense, because they technically have done. Momoshiki has done it before, trying to absorb Naruto's 9 tails so that he could get stronger.
I mean, but let's think about it. That's been the thing that the enemies have been doing for the past 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, but these guys, they seem,
and that's including the end of Shippuden.
Yeah, just really true. But these guys are more world destroying gods. And
at the end,
world?
At the end, I never thought in Boruto or Naruto we were gonna go from computers to time travel type of dimension type of power ups. I never thought it was gonna happen, and somehow we fans are entertained by it. I'm like, okay, Sasuke the Renegade that could go to a whole different dimension. Go for it. I'm with it. Sure.
We went from fantasy to science fiction right now, so and
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay. So definitely not too as far fetched. We're all still kind of entertained, and next chapter it's gonna have to be really good. Hopefully,
the next chapter has promised to be much better than this chapter. I mean, this chapter was okay. So I guess quick thoughts before we wrap up. Favorite parts of this chapter?
Like Sam said, it was Sarada Sharingan. I like Sarada Sharingan. It was really entertaining to finally see that, because she don't really activate that a lot. And
I mean, we don't really get to see her fight that often. So yeah.
So that's my most highlight, because I'm like, okay, I like that, because you have the strength of your mother. So I want to see more of you shine. Even though this is a Boruto more main spotlight, but I want to see more of you, so I'm very glad. So that's my highlight of it.
My highlight would be Boro's healing factor, because there's still a lot more we don't know about this group and their enemy.
True.
And each of them have their own ability. This guy seems a very big dude. Makes sense that he's a tank. He would want to take all these attacks head on first and maybe absorb their abilities or some kind of fight. Because what's interesting for me was he's still using regular ninjutsu, and it's effective against them, and it's effective against their own karma, which I'm intrigued. That means there are certain jutsu in this world, in their organization, that knows how to counter their own karma abilities, and I am intrigued.
I'm also intrigued. I will say that that's something that I liked about this, is that where you could see the author teaching Kawaki and Boruto a lesson, in that they can't just rely on this karma, which they've started to lean on heavily. And it's they're learning that you can't just run in and assume that this weird superpower is going to protect them from everything.
Exactly.
So I'm really happy to see that happening, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So chapter 40, solid. We know that it can be better because Boruto has been much better as of late. So this has been the first of many discussions about the Boruto manga. What do you guys want to know? Did we get anything wrong? Would you like to correct us at all? I know you will, so go ahead and do it in the comments below. You have your theories. I would like to see them. Please put them down in the comment section, and we'll read them. We'll respond to them. I love to see them. We love to speculate about Boruto and Dragon Ball, which we'll talk about at some point as well. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you for chapter 41 in 30 days.
Peace.